Alright guys, this is the follow-up to my last video titled Before God and Man. And this is where I start my video compilation, which will provide the footage to back up some of the statements that I made in that video. One important thing that I must mention before I proceed is that more and more of my videos are being taken down now, as I shed increasing light on covert harassment and satanic gang stalking, which is no surprise to me, by the way. So if you're not seeing videos, or if parts of certain videos are missing, contact me directly and I will get the footage to you. Guys, before I start showing you any videos, I'd like for you to check out this short clip where my brother confirms that I've already proven some of the things that I mentioned in my last video regarding covert harassment, mainly satanic gang stalking, when I presented my proof in the form of footage to 6 family members, all at the same time. Check it out.
Things that happened is we had Eve, I want to talk a little bit about the meeting that we had, the family meeting, but I don't want to mention any names in regards to the people that were there, okay? But recently we had a family meeting, okay? Basically what that entailed is that it was 6 family members, okay? Myself made 7, okay? So 6 family members, including my brother Eves, was there. So what I had to do, I had to, I presented the stuff that I had, the proof that I had, my video footage, okay, the things that I see that's going on in my videos, okay, I showed all the family members, okay, and Eves was there, and basically, and Eves, you can attest to this because you were there. Basically, with everything that I showed, okay, all 6 family members agreed that the things that I showed in my videos were not coincidences, okay? They were not hallucinations, okay? Because they're being caught, they're being captured on camera, okay? They were not hallucinations, and they agreed that they are some type of spiritual attack, that spiritual phenomenon that's manifesting in the real world, okay? And all 6 people agreed to that. Eve, am I right in what I'm saying?
Yes, because a lot of time, we see things, we see things, and we're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, it might be a coincidence. But when you constantly seeing the same thing repeating over and over and over again, you gotta step back and take a look and wonder, is that really a coincidence or what's going on? But yes, at the meeting, all 6 of us agreed that it was not a coincidence because it happened too many times. And sometimes, my brother Greg could even call it out what's going to happen. Because he's been through it so much, he knows, and then bam, it happens. So we all agree, yes, it's not a coincidence. It's some kind of spiritual attack or some kind of thing that's doing that. It's not a coincidence. It's not normal.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Now guys, keep in mind, this doesn't include friends, co-workers, acquaintances, or even strangers that I've shown my proof to and who all agree with my family. In fact, whenever I've sat down with someone who was willing to give me the time to present my footage to them, the results were always the same as with my 6 family members. Okay, so we'll start with the reckless driving, since that was the first thing on the list from my last video. The answers as to whether or not these are natural, normal incidents are not to be found in the reckless driving incidents themselves, but are to be found in my behavior before, during, and after the incidents. Since reckless driving happens to everyone from time to time, and covert harassment is designed to look like everyday normal activity, you're not likely to see it in the incident itself. Where you're going to see it is in my behavior. In other words, what I'm doing before, during, and after the incidents. That's the key. I'll get into it more as we go along. Stand by for the first clip.
Approaching left turn on Pleasant Highway.
Okay guys, so let's unpack this a little bit. The first thing you'll notice is that I'm using a handheld recording device. The way that you can tell is by looking right here. That's my finger. This recording device was an iPod, which was about the size of a small cell phone. And keep in mind that I'm a CDL holder, which also makes me a professional driver. Now you guys can imagine the trouble that I could have gotten into by doing this. The reason that I had to get the footage in this manner is because while all this was going on, I couldn't find a suitable dash cam. Every dash cam that I ordered either didn't work, or I couldn't get the footage out of it, or it wouldn't stay in place, it would get bounced around the car, and I would lose out on critical footage. And during this time, the reckless driving was so bad that I reasoned it was worth risking my CDL in order that I get the footage. Because quite honestly, if this had continued, I wouldn't be able to drive anyway. Another very important thing that you'll notice, guys, is that after this incident, I didn't say anything. I didn't curse, I didn't yell and scream, nothing. That's because these reckless driving incidents had become so frequent that by this time, I was used to them. So I had no reaction. The only thing that I did was kept on driving. But I knew that I could not continue in this manner because it was just a matter of time before something really bad happened to me. Before I run out of time in this video, I want to show you guys one last clip where you'll observe the same behaviors from me as you did in the first clip, but with one added clue that will be seen in my body language. Now folks, just like in the first clip, I was using the same handheld recording device in this one. How do we know this? There's my finger again. Also, like in the first clip, notice that after this incident, I didn't say a word. No cursing, no swearing, nothing. Again, it's because by this time, I had been so used to the reckless driving taking place everywhere that I went. But this clip contains one valuable clue that if you guys picked up on would show you that this had to have been happening frequently in order for me to pull these things off. Folks, notice how I turn the camera to the right even before the white vehicle hits the intersection when I realized he wasn't going to stop and in anticipation of him blowing through the red light. It happens right about there. So guys, in order for me to accomplish this, I had to hold the steering wheel and camera with my right hand while blasting the horn with my left hand. And let's not forget, while also turning the camera to the right with my right hand. Now guys, imagine the control that you need to pull this off. You cannot do this without practice. And the only way that I could have gotten that practice is if this was happening over and over and over again, which it was. Okay, so I've run out of time in this video, but I'll pick up in my next video where I left off with the reckless driving in this video. You guys also want to make sure you stick around for when I start talking about the flashing lights and other light phenomena. That's even more obvious and compelling than the reckless driving. As always, guys, thanks for watching and God bless.